Sadnam Aloha. So we have the last full moon of 2021, and the sun has been in alignment with the galactic center all week. This supposedly is a picture of the galactic center, artist rendition. So the energy from the galactic center has been activating our planet and boosting the radiance of our soul. That's the real booster we need right now, is our soul. So just to keep in mind why 2012 was such a big deal was it was the first time that the Earth was in alignment with the galactic center. So this is a big deal. So I'm going to share with you how to best use this energy for your soul's evolution. So please stick around to the end of the video. So warning, very spiritual. So we're evolving into the new age of Aquarius. I think we can all feel it. But first, as a humanity, we must pass through an age of unprecedented change, right? We're experiencing a huge amount of energy, and this is all part of the process of our evolution. So I really like this quote. Getting information off the internet is like trying to get a drink from a fire hydrant. Is that true or not, right? So this is why our technology is advancing so quickly, because we're trying to control the flow of this information. We're trying to keep up with it, right? Which is an impossible task. So it's said by the ancients, when our technology has reached its peak, its pinnacle, then this is a sign that the self-sensory system is getting activated in humanity. So this is the 2027 solar plexus mutation that I talk about in my 6-hour webinar, and what's coming and what to expect. And if you haven't checked that out, I would say check that out now. You can get it on the website in the link below too. So this means, right, that we won't need technology any longer. We'll realize that we are the technology. We don't need something outside of ourselves. We're the technology. So spiritually, what's happening here? Well, we live in an information age. And at the mundane level, we see this on the internet, right? Anything that we want to know, it's there on the internet. Just click, 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 right? And you got it. So all the once secret ancient spiritual texts, right? The secret yoga and meditation practices, the teachings, the teachers, it's all there, whatever you want, from soup to nuts, it's all there. So finding information is not the challenge. That was the challenge in the Piscean age, right? Finding that information. Our human challenges are radically different now. So it's not about going out and seeking more and more information. I need more, I need more, I need more. It's now about consciousness. We now need to learn to manage our consciousness. And this is what it means to be a spiritual adult. We're all growing up for the Aquarian age. So we live in an information field, and our bodies themselves are made up of information. And information is connected to manifestation. It gives form, information, right? Gives form to the material world. And information is not just intellectual, right? It's a frequency. At its essence, it's a frequency. Everything's frequency. So it's our thoughts, our emotions, it's our biology, it's our psychology. So let's go deeper to the quantum level of information. Well, we got to talk about neutrinos. My whole channel is devoted to neutrinos and their relationship to the 64 hexagrams of the I Ching. So the ancient words for neutrinos are prana or chi, or the poetic way of describing it is the exhale of the stars. That's what neutrinos are. So scientifically, neutrinos are subatomic particles that carry information. Right? They have weight. So we're bombarded by trillions and trillions of neutrinos passing through us every single second of our day. And most of them are coming from our sun, our solar sun, right? Which is also being activated by this galactic center. So this movement of the neutrinos, right? The neutrino stream, it influences our thoughts. It influences our perception and our behavior as a human species. And this information is coming to us faster and faster because of the shift of consciousness that's happening for this new age of Aquarius. So the major block right now is our mind. And our mind is not equipped to handle this amount of information. And that's why we're seeing so many people with mental health issues, right? And we're going to continue to see this more and more. So even at the mundane level, right, the 3D level, the news, the alternative news, the mainstream news, right, the posts and your feeds and all the social platforms you're on, it's difficult to keep up with it all, right, because it's all changing so fast. So what happens in the face of this glut of information is the conscious mind will shut down. It shuts down from overwhelm because the conscious mind can't process or decode this information. It's just too much, right? So that doesn't stop the information flow. It doesn't stop the information from flowing just because your conscious mind shut down. It continues to flow, but now it overflows, right, into the subconscious mind. So if you think of the conscious mind as kind of the main floor of the house, well, the subconscious mind is the basement of the house, right? You don't usually hang out in the basement, right? We don't have conscious access to the subconscious mind. However, the subconscious mind affects 90% of our behavior. So we're perceiving reality through our subconscious mind. We're making decisions from our subconscious mind. So this is why there seems to be so many brainwashed zombies out in the world right now. Have you noticed? Have you ever wondered that? Like, why are there so many brainwashed zombies out there? Well, there's no logic to their behavior. There's no logic to their thought processes. Well, they can't think, right? Their conscious mind is shut down. This isn't about judging and I'm better than them or I'm worse than them. This is just observing, right? So their conscious mind is shut down. They can't think, right? So all information that they're receiving is going straight into the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind does not question anything. It just takes in everything in as truth, right? So it's how you can program people, brainwash people. You overwhelm them with information, confuse them, right? Especially information that brings up fear, and then program them the way you want them to behave, the way you want them to think, right? Even if it goes against their best interests. People who are unconscious have no idea what's going on with them, right? So it's like having the remote control over someone else's mind. So all this unprocessed information in the subconscious mind, right, creates a huge block to your spiritual connection, right? To a huge block to your intuition. And that's what protects us as a human, is our intuition. And intuition is connected to the universal mind, or the mind of God, you could call it. And we all have intuition. It's not a special thing, right? Just for psychics and fortune tellers. We all have intuition. But when our subconscious is blocked, we have no access to our intuition, and therefore we rely on outside information to guide us, which is very dangerous right now, right? So with mind, either we control our own mind or someone else will control our mind for us, right? It's either or. So this is self-mastery. We must be the master of our own mind. And how do you do this? Well, your sadhana practice, your spiritual practice, your daily practice. This is a non-negotiable thing now, is we need to meditate every single day, right? To have that control of our own mind. So whatever that looks like for you, but Kundalini Yoga is great, right? It's a great technology. It's completely designed for this time that we're in right now. I've got free meditations on my website. If you go to the front page and go to free stuff. You'll see meditations there. And I hear a lot on the internet with popular influencers that we're in a war for our mind. You heard this? We're in a war for our mind. And if we look at the problems on the earth from this perspective, right? A war on our mind, a war on our mind. That's only going to keep us in our mind, right? It's just mind fighting mind, right? You're staying at the same level of consciousness there. So we need to elevate up and realize that we are not our mind and we're not this body. We're eternal souls that were never born, will never die, right? And then you begin to see the game. You get to perceive reality. So what to do? Well, be aware of when your conscious mind is shutting down. And this takes self-awareness. It takes knowing yourself, knowing your own frequency, right? And the generators and manifesting generators, you of all the types need to know yourself of all the types, right? If the generators start waking up, boom, this show's over, right? We're in the age of Aquarius. So for the generators, manifesting generators, is listening to your gut, right? What's your gut communicating to you, right? So personally, for me as a projector, my solar plexus starts to flutter, right? When I can feel my conscious mind getting overwhelmed. And it gets stirred up, right? To get my attention. And to me, this means my energy is leaking and to stop whatever I'm doing right now. So this is a time to retreat from the mundane informational field. Right? Take a break from watching the news. Alternative news too, good news, right? Conspiratorial stuff, the truth news, all that stuff. Take a break from taking in more and more and more information. And the mind is addicted to information and trying to figure it all out, right? Trying to control life. We're like, good luck with that. That's not going to work, right? This time that we're in right now, this is way above the pay grade of the mind, right? We're moving into a solar plexus awareness system. And also to cultivate your intuition and to trust your intuition, rely on your intuition, depend on your intuition. Right? Listen to that inner voice above the voice of all others. You know, I remember reading Carlos Castaneda book, and he was talking to his teacher, Don Juan, right? And as you know, he's an academic and very intellectual and not a good student, right? And he was trying to understand how Don Juan would protect himself. Like, what special powers do you have? Do you have laser beam eyes that would disintegrate a bullet coming at you? Right? That sort of nonsense. So he asked him, he said, well, if you walked into a small town and there was a sniper, right, there to kill you, what would you do? What would you do? And Don Juan answered, well, I just wouldn't be there, right? So this is the power of intuition. What if someone came and dragged me off to some FEMA camp? What would I do? What would I do? Well, you wouldn't be there, number one. You wouldn't be there in harm's way because your intuition would give you the heads up long before that would happen. So you must remember too that every single entity on this planet is having the perfect experience that they need for their awakening. So this is a very karmic time for many. And we're seeing these old ancient karma, right? These old ancestral stories being played out. So you have to remember, you can't save people. You can't stop what's coming, right? It's destined. So you must bring your attention back to yourself. And remember in my 2022 webinar, What's Coming Ahead, we're transmuting the shadow of codependency. And we're letting go of these old tribal ways and support systems, right? So we're coming more into self-reliance and self-sovereign, being whole unto ourselves. So this is really about coming back to yourself, right? Cultivating a relationship with your big ass self, your big higher self. That's the relationship you want to be working on, right? So information is coming in to change you, right? Information, the frequency is coming in to change you. but it's not for you to understand with your mind, right? We're shifting into a whole new species. And the ones who are destined to experience this, not everyone, right? 1/3 of the population are awakening through this transmutation. And 1/3 will remain unconscious and asleep, right? The brainwashed operating from their subconscious mind. And then the other 1/3 will leave the planet. And also to help you too, for this full moon, I'm going to host a free group meditation to clear that useless information that's clogging up your subconscious mind and keeping you from accessing the universal mind, your intuition. So that's going to be December 19th, 11:30 a.m. Hawaii Standard Time, or 1:30 Pacific Standard Time. And if you're on my newsletter list, you'll receive the Zoom link. I'm doing it on Zoom. I don't trust YouTube. They fiddle with things and mess the meditation up. So I want it to be a private space on Zoom. So if you're not on my newsletter list, scoot over there and sign up for my newsletter. The link's below in the information box. And I only send out one message per week. It's not all soupy sales or spammy. So please leave any comments below, especially about your own mental health, right? It really helps people to know that they're not alone in these challenging times. We're not isolated, right? And I want to thank everybody who's made donations. I really appreciate it. And also my recorded readings are $25 off for the month of December. And I can do gifts for people too if you want to order one for someone that you love. These readings are based on your human design chart, and they help to know what your body and your brain needs to live at the optimal level, and also about how you're supposed to perceive the world, how your awareness works, how to make your decisions, right? It's all unique to you. It's over 1.5 hours long. So check that out. And thank you to everyone who has purchased a webinar or program, right? It really helps when I can spread this information about what's coming for the future and the tools that we need to thrive during these times. So let's come together for this group meditation and really harness this energy of the galactic center, right? That's boosting the soul and bringing up all that subconscious crap that needs to leave, right? So that we can really be aligned with our greatest self. Okay, so thanks for subscribing, ringing the bell, and sharing. And you can follow me on Telegram, Instagram, Odyssey, Facebook. And I hope to see you all tomorrow for the group meditation. Okay, Sat Nam Aloha.